Oh my god, I can't believe it! I'm an official Master of Arts! This is it! Sure you are. Just you wait. Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nathalie, I'm a musician, and today we're talking about 3 things that I wish people had told me or reminded me of when being in music school. Obviously there are a lot of things that I wish they had told me, like how to do basic management, or how to make an invoice, or how to be better around people and making connections and all that stuff. But today I'm really focusing on things that you learn while being in music school and that I really wish someone would have just reminded me of, because it would have saved me a lot of trouble in the end. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. As a kid, I never really had stage fright. I had adrenaline and excitement, and sure, my heart beat faster and I was like trembling a little bit, but it was really just because I was so totally like, well, I'm gonna be on stage, and I was really looking forward to it and playing in front of people. The more I went into music school and like the higher I climbed up the ladder into becoming a Master of Arts, as they say, the more I felt stage fright creeping in, however, and I never really understood why until quite recently, maybe a year ago, when I realized it really had much to do with what I was thinking during my practice. Obviously in the beginning of your practice, when you don't really master your instrument just yet, you're focusing on technique and you're focusing on the pieces that get you to the next level, and usually it starts out as a hobby and it's just fun. But the more you want to become professional, the more pressure is laid upon you, and you hear from your teacher like, oh no, this and this and this is all wrong, or you need to make sound like this, or it also depends on your teacher, obviously. And I had a really nice teacher, but still in my mind when practicing, I was really beating myself up when I was making a mistake. And since we're all human, mistakes, well, they do happen, and they happen quite often. So after years and years of having that really being ingrained in my mind, I caused my own stage fright, I think. And so right now, I'm really trying to be very cautious of what I'm thinking when practicing, instead of when I'm making a mistake or when I'm starting to practice, instead of focusing on mistakes that I made yesterday and I want to improve today, or instead of focusing on the mistake that I'm making in this moment and be like, oh no, it's not good, I need to do it again. I'm trying to think of it as, oh, maybe if I do this motion extra, it might sound nicer, or I kind of want a different color in this little section, I want to improve the dynamics a little bit, and I'm focusing again on the sound that I'm making and not necessarily on the amount of mistakes that are happening and then beating myself up for it, right? So if you have any problems with stage fright, I highly recommend just going about what's going through your head when you're practicing. Are you really being very severe for yourself and strict and beating yourself up about making a mistake? Or are you trying to be gentle and trying to find new angles into making the music sound more beautiful than it was before? I really think it makes a big difference. And then obviously, the longer time you had to prep, the easier it is to go on stage and feel confident. The more times you have performed a certain program, the easier it is to perform that program. That is universal, you know, that's never gonna change. And that's also normal, I think. The more you do something, the easier it goes. So that's totally fine. Just also remind yourself of that when you have like a project that is kind of within a little bit of a small time frame. There will probably be a little bit more stage fright. But I still think that being aware of your thought process during your practice can really reduce the stage fright in the moment of truth. Try it out, let me know if it helps. I'm really astonished that during my time in a music school, there was hardly any emphasis on recording, whether that was recording a CD or recording YouTube videos or whatever. There was just no emphasis whatsoever. So any recordings that I've made when being in music school, they were directly made to apply for music school or apply for a masterclass. And having to record something with a goal that is so specific, that brings a little bit of extra stress, especially if you're not very well versed in recording. And so I always felt a lot of tension and stress when making those recordings. Also because you book a hall for 2 hours, because usually that's the time slot that I got, but then you also have your recording engineer that needs to set up in that hall. So before you know it, 45 minutes are already gone to an hour, already gone from the time that you have to record, and then you have 1 hour to record 1 or maybe 2 pieces, and that's it. And so it goes by so fast, and you need to produce so fast, and it needs to be as perfect as you possibly can. And so it's a hard thing, and if you don't practice that, then it remains a hard thing, right? So I'm really happy that with YouTube and just people putting out more videos and investing in cameras and in recording gear and in programs that allow you to either edit your videos for free or for a monthly subscription, whatever, all those things are available to us now. And it is such a great thing to invest in. If you want to become a professional musician, record yourself as much as you can. And I'm not only talking about making the fancy videos to put on YouTube. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Just recording an audio file with your phone of you practicing, and then after your practice session, sit back, relax on the couch and listen to your practice and just take notes. You're gonna see or hear, you're gonna hear so many things that you're like, oh, I thought I had fixed that, or oh, I can actually take more time here, or oh, I'm still running in this section, or oh, I could make the melody even more of a line in this particular section, or well, my left hand has a little bit of trouble with being very clear here, I can probably fix that tomorrow, or things like that. And I'm saying this also to myself as a reminder, like record as much as you can. Even if you don't play the piece for a very long time, that doesn't really matter. Just recording yourself and listening afterwards, because I'm also a queen at then recording and then never listen to it. But recording yourself and listening afterwards is really beneficial for your practice, and also just for feeling more at ease with performing and doing stuff in one take. So try it out. I'm pretty sure it'll help you a lot. And then lastly, my first year as a music student was really hard. And it took me a little while before I understood that it wasn't only a lack of sleep or me not understanding what my professor wanted of me in the beginning, but it was also just a transition of making my hobby my main study and then later my profession. Just shifting that is not as easy, and obviously it's, in one way it's great because you get to do something that you're very passionate about and you get to focus on it, and it, you know, it's great in one way, but in the other you're losing your way of relaxing and your way of expressing yourself without putting a lot of pressure on yourself, or you know, you're trying always to be your very best when you become a professional, and sometimes you just want to have fun and not think about being at your best, or having to live up to a high standard for something, right? So when I started in music school, in my second year, I kind of realized, oh, this is what's going on, this is why I have a hard time. So I started blocking, and that was really fun for a while. I could you know, be creative on the side, and it was okay. There was no strings attached. And then now that blogging ventured kind of into vlogging, and the YouTube channel is getting a little bit more serious, and I really intend for it to become more serious. So I'm gonna have to find a new hobby. But you know, now I learned my lesson. And so I'm already exploring a couple of things that I would love to do in my free time, just to relax. And it'll keep me creative, and it'll keep me fueled, and it'll keep me loving being a musician and being a YouTuber. And I think that's something that you really need as a music student or as a professional in whatever field you have. It's really important to maintain a hobby on the side, or 2 or 3, however much time you have for hobbies. So this is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you found this video interesting, and maybe it shed some light on some things that were bothering you and you didn't really know what was going on. If it did, then please say so in the comments below. It's always lovely to hear from you. Share your experience. Maybe leave a thumbs up if you like this video. That would be great. Is there something else I need to say? Yes. If you are interested in taking music lessons, piano lessons, vocal lessons, classical lessons, jazz lessons, I'm really happy to announce that I have opened up my own studio, and I teach online or in person. So just venture to my website and get in touch. I will leave a link in the description box below. And I really need to take a breath so I can keep talking. And well, we reached the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you again next week. Have a great weekend in the meantime. And yeah, see you then. Bye bye.